We are back with Lunes live after taking a little bit of a hiatus, but we have another jam-packed episode of this. Your favorite Compas got you covered with the NFL 18 takeaways. Gilbert, the season, you just sneezed and the season's already at its end. But we'll get into all of that. Plus, we will get into the Chargers and Rams closing out the regular season. One decided to rest their starters while the other decided to play their stars. Let's see a hint of who that is. We'll get into the decisions made by Harbaugh and McVay. And lastly, we will go over the vacancies on Black Monday. All right, Gilberto, do you have an engagement question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yeah, now that we wrapped up 2025 regular season, the NFL is full of surprises. So let me know which division winner was the most shocking, surprising of them all. I'll give you my pick, and I know they're the worst division winner, but I'm actually still shocked, and I picked them, the Panthers, to win the division. Like, this is one of the most crappiest franchise in NFL history. Well, obviously, they're a dog shit team. Like, I know it hasn't been 5 minutes, but like,
are they the biggest fraud?
Obviously, they're not even going to be a contender. They don't belong in the race here. Like, it's like that what's that meme where like it's like 4 soldiers and a clown? Like, that's the Panthers. Like, they don't belong here. Like, what or the 3-headed dragon monster? One of them looks that's the Panthers.
The Fraud Bowl. Is it the Gilberto Fraud Bowl?
There's only one fraud and one you shouldn't be here. Like, what am I doing here? That's the Panthers. But I was trying to be nice for them to say, you know what? I'm actually very shocked they got here because they went from a JV team and to win 8 games. I think says a lot for Dave Canales because that's probably one of the worst franchises in the last 10 years to bring them up that. I shouldn't say that fast, but to have them at least competitive, I think goes a long way. And then my number 2 will probably be the Bears. I don't know what you say, Fernando.
No, I agree with you. I think the Bears are one of the fraudulent teams. Their defense got gashed up by the Chicago Bears offense. It got gashed up by the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle just did what they've been doing all year. They put pressure on the opposing quarterback. They smacked you in the mouth with their defense. They ran the ball efficiently and said, Sam Darnold, do not F this up. To just get the ball to JSN. And that's essentially what he did. That ended up winning them the game. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm not going to go as far as to say, because, a couple of years ago, I did call Packers the 7th seed upsetting the number 2 seeded Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if I'm completely there yet. There's still one more day before we make picks and everything. But if I'm of the belief that both 7s could upset both 2s, Gilbert, if
really?
If we're looking at it.
Packers, Bears. Hey.
Beto, how you doing, Beto?
Beto, how you doing, sir? It's been a long time.
But yeah, no, I definitely by the way, people were wondering where you shot your beautiful videos from last week.
You didn't tell people last week?
I just said, look, Gilbert's here, look at this, and then Dan called you out and he's like, how is he out when there's football to be played, there's football to be written about? So people wanted to know.
Yeah, so I'm surprised you didn't tell people, but I was in Islandia. It's funny because I shouldn't call out my sister, but she was like, "Where are you going exactly?" I'm like, "The North Pole," and she like actually believed me. But then I get there and they're like, "Yeah, we're probably the closest country to the North Pole," so that's where I went. Iceland. It was a very random trip. My soon-to-be mother-in-law, her dream is to go see the Northern Lights. So the best time to see the Northern Lights is like wintertime, and no way in hell I'm going like January or February when it's super cold. So we're trying to squeeze it in during winter break for a lot of people, not for us because we cover the NFL.
Yeah.
A lot of people were off for a couple of weeks in her family. So we went and we were chasing the lights. We didn't get to see them, unfortunately, but still the trip was a blast, man. I recommend going out there. And the good thing too, Fernando,
Northern Lights. You guys are frauds.
Are they even a real thing? Because I didn't see them. But I will say this: your brother calls me a curse, Fernando. But the people in Iceland told me this is the best December weather in a very long time. So I get there and the weather.
You couldn't even see the Northern Lights.
So what? But it wasn't freaking like 10 degrees out there or below zero or whatever they use out there. What do they use? Celsius.
Celsius.
There you go. I don't know what the hell it is. 'Cause somebody else told me like I actually had um, a relative in Mexico who saw my Instagram story and he asked, "What's the degrees out there?" I'm like, "What the hell is the thing in Mexico?" So I said zero.
Celsius.
Uh, so I don't know their scale there. But anyways, I'm going off topic here. They said it's the best December weather month in a very long time because I brought it. And Tay Jackson said, I smoked some Northern Lights. Hey, if that's what you like, go ahead. We all have different names for it. But yeah, I did not get to see them, but apparently Tay smoked them.
So you had fun?
Yeah, it was.
You recommend it?
Yes, I do. It's just the jet lag was pretty hard.
What was the
But
trip?
overall, what was that?
What was the trip? How many hours?
Like, oh, it was had layovers. I'm gonna start crapping on people now. But we had the first layover going there was Seattle, and then that was like 3 hours, and then 8 hours from Seattle to Iceland, just going up north or going northeast. And
Yeah.
then coming home, we went from Iceland to Portland, probably one of the worst airports in America. I've never been to the Portland airport. Awful. They're stuck in freaking 1994 over there. Worst bathrooms, worst food. I never want to have a layover in freaking Portland. I've actually never been to Portland, the city, but first time passing by, crappy. They're the Carolina Panthers of the airport. But you're getting me going here. But yeah, it was like 10 hours total for the trip.
Angel thought you had left the country because of your bad takes. No,
Yeah,
I
people
do.
actually don't care about football, American football, so maybe they don't care about my takes there.
Did you go to a bar?
Actually, I did on New Year's Eve. The first time I've been out in a long time. It was pretty fun. Good time. Got to see the countdown at some very cool looking church, and then we went to the bar, and yeah, it was a good time. It's always a good time when you. This is the one thing I miss about being a traveling beat reporter. Like when you
Yeah.
go out the night before a game and you're having fun with your coworkers in a new city you've never been to in a new bar. That's always fun. So it was cool to kind of have that feeling again.
It's funny. The other day, I got a school asking me if I could talk about like trips or like talking about like journalism and everything. And they asked me, "What's the funnest part about being a journalist?" I'm like, "The camaraderie." Like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Dude, with one of my now co at the time, like we had just barely known each other, but with him, Eric Williams, and my brother, we climbed the pyramids in Teotihuacan
Oh
in
yeah,
Mexico. I'm like, we went to DC, like we've gone to Kansas City, we've gone to all these Super Bowls. Like the camaraderie is probably the coolest part about, I mean, obviously like covering sports, getting to write for a living, but like the camaraderie, I think, is one of the coolest things about it. And I mean, we've made friends with Jeff, Joe Reedy, Pop. I've made friends with like Chris Rim, Eric, and we've had these guys on the shows and stuff, and that's I think the coolest part about doing this. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. That's one of the funnest parts about being on the beat is being able to travel all around and obviously getting those racking up those Marriott points.
yeah. And it's always fun to try new food. And I'll say this,
Yeah,
Fernando, about Iceland. I don't know if it's like a thing to cater to Americans because the tourism in Iceland has blown up since I think COVID the last 5 years. Like people didn't know about this country much or island, whatever you want to call it, and they've pretty much got a bunch of money with people going in. They have like they're very popular for hot dogs. So anywhere you go, they have like a hot dog stand.
hot
Uh,
dog or schnitzel.
I think they call it a hot dog, but it's like a. Actually, I'm gonna put don't clip this, but they have a very thin weenie. Don't clip it. But that's like the thing. They have like a small weenie, and then the rest is like regular. They put a bunch of other crap on it, but the weenie, I'm gonna stop myself. It's a good taste flavor. I'm gonna stop before I sound like Sean Payton. Remember that clip that Sean Payton said about spitting? I'll just stop, or I'll stop. But yeah, it's you go to Iceland, you have the hot dog, the thin weenie. They're actually pretty good. You would think it's like, what the hell is this? Just a freaking hot dog. I could make that crap. But they're actually not bad. They taste different. And I want to say, I don't know if it's 100%, but they're big on lamb. Maybe it's lamb meat that makes it different, but I think that's not true. It's like a
Oh,
little lie there because I like eating lambs there. But and one more story.
uh,
They're big on receipts there. Maybe because I'm a little browner than other tourists. they really didn't believe that about a hot dog. Like, do I look like I can afford a hot dog? And like, where's your receipt, sir? I almost had to fight a lady for my hot dog. But yeah, so ever since that moment, I had to get a receipt every single time. But I don't look like I could buy hot dogs, apparently.
Do you know who I am?
You know who I am back in the States? But I kept saying I'm also Mexican because apparently I think Mexicans get better treatment than Americans. But also that's a lie because I couldn't get a freaking hot dog. Yeah, quiero chorizo.
Uh, clip that one out too.
Yeah,
All right.
whatever. Champion can say weird things. I can too.
Well, and he just keeps on saying. Do you see what he said about winning the division?
Yeah, what was worth
He
saying?
said the shirts are ugly, that they're hanging up in their locker, but they didn't
Oh
care
yeah,
about that. Like,
then he hates New Year's Eve or something like that.
I don't know. Like, to me, the Denver Broncos, the fans, like the player, they've been so weird all season. Like, they've been really freaking weird all season. So I'm definitely and especially yesterday. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny, Gilbert. I don't know how much you watched of the game, but the Chargers ended up resting multiple players, their whole offensive line, multiple players on defense, and the Denver Broncos were able to beat them 19-13, but they only got 12 points on offense. That was 4 Will Lutz field goals and Jake McMillan 45-yard interception returned for a touchdown from Trey Lance. The Chargers were in the red zone, or I think twice. They couldn't get any points out of it. They got a 30-yard field goal from Cameron Dicker. Um, Gilbert, what did you make of? Let's go real quick to no. Let's go. I mean, obviously, we want to cater to Charger fans. What are your thoughts on the Chargers going into the playoffs? They rested guys. Look, in the past, like last year, I remember you and I both criticized Jim Harbaugh for not resting players going into that game against the Raiders. They look sluggish going into that game against Houston a week later. Here he rests Herbert.
Yeah.
He said it even on Monday, Gilbert. I thought he was going to wait till Friday. He said on Monday, Herbert is not playing. We're not doing that. He is not going. A lot of other guys are going to rest too. He rested multiple players. What are your thoughts going into the playoffs for the Chargers?
Well, there wasn't really much reasoning for playing stars. I think last year, what was the thing? They wanted to face Houston as a
They wanted
as
to
a
get the
five,
fifth seed.
the fifth seed. Now it's like, what's really the point to try to get the fifth seed when your quarterback has one good hand, your linemen are decimated with injuries. You've had injuries all year. Like you got your rookie running back got hurt. Why even risk anybody to get hurt at this point? You need to be as healthy as possible, which is kind of impossible this year, or this time of year for NFL teams. So I'm okay with it because we've been talking about it for the last month or so here on Compas on the Beat that I think the wild card teams have a chance to go into the house of the division winners and pull off upsets. So to me, why not? Like this is actually the mentality that I wanted the Chargers to take last year. It's like, who cares who they play? Go bring them on. You want to line them up? Like in a way, I was kind of hoping the Chargers would face the Jaguars because that's the house of horrors, right? Go there, face your
Yeah.
demons, and beat up the Jaguars. Get that freaking monkey off your back. So I thought, why not? Whatever happens, happens. So, in a way, no, actually, no, it's not. I was gonna say maybe the Patriots were the best matchup. I think it would have been the Steelers by far because they're not good and the Chargers already whooped them. But I think they're gonna get a very inexperienced team, a quarterback making his postseason debut. So it's a tough matchup. They're very balanced, but it's not the worst matchup. It's not like I'm not thinking about anybody in the AFC could be beaten. That's the beauty about the postseason this year. There's no real contender. So when you have no real top dog, you really don't care about seeding. You rather be healthy. You have a star quarterback in Justin Herbert. Go be healthy and forget about it. I know they got a bad taste in that Houston game. I missed that week there. That was not a good showing there, but that was more on the surprising defensive effort. So, yeah, go in there and be healthy and see what happens because I'm not trying to say this is what 2018, the last time they won a playoff game, but they went into Baltimore and they beat Lamar Jackson, a rookie back then when they were supposed to be the favorite. So you never know what could happen in a playoff game when you're a very inexperienced quarterback, and that is still Drake May was great, but he's still very inexperienced.
I noticed on social media that this was the game that Patriot fans wanted. And I'm kind of like, don't wish that because last year that's what happened to these guys. They wanted Houston. They go
Yeah,
into Houston, they get the crap smacked out of them. Um, you can tell that these guys are a lot more motivated, not motivated, but like the Charger players are playing with fire. And I don't know if you watched the interview with Odafe Owe, but he seemed fired up. Like look at this clip that Chris Rim got yesterday of Tony Jefferson and these guys. Like I'm telling you, like being in that locker room lately has seemed really different with these guys.
I have no respect. So y'all in New England, baby. I'm like nobody on the road. Oh, my homie JL Skinner, I fuck with him.
So basically, Tony after the game was like, the Broncos suck. Like we're gonna be back here. Yeah. He was like, I don't. He said, I don't fuck with anybody on the Broncos. They're a sorry ass team. Like they were saying that. So they basically, I mean, and you know what? It's
over the backups against Bo Nix.
Well, and that's what I. And we'll get to the Broncos in a second, but I think the thing that, and this isn't bulletin board material, they just feel like they're fired up by the Broncos this year. The Broncos have gotten all these breaks and everything, and I think these guys are fired up, and they're kind of like, well, if we beat the Patriots, we come back in a week and we face these guys again, and look what we just did to their with our backups. Look what we just did to them. So, but I really feel like a lot of people are underestimating these guys for some reason, and the reason why I say that is because last year with the Chargers, it was they haven't played anybody, they haven't beaten anybody. What are they doing? And then now they're not using that same excuse for the Patriots. Everybody's like, oh, the Patriots are back in the playoffs. It's so much fun, Mike Vrabel, and you're kind of like, And then you look at the Patriots season. They haven't played a top 10 defense at all this whole season.
I was just gonna look that up. Yeah, you're right.
They haven't played. They've beaten the. So take the Ravens out because the Ravens had a losing season. They went 1-2 with against teams with winning records. They were up 21-0 on Josh Allen, and Josh Allen turned around and beat them in a game 3 weeks ago. So
look at that Ravens game, Fernando. Derrick Henry was going to beat them, but then they stopped giving them the football for whatever reason. They should have won that game. So being physical is something there.
That's the same thing they did last night against the Steelers. Why did they? I would say the best one of the Patriots was that Tampa Bay game. Either that Tampa Bay game or that Buffalo game.
The Bills the first time around.
Yeah.
That was in Buffalo.
Yeah. And that was back in what? September?
Yeah, that was early. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, because there's a lot of confidence being thrown out there, and I'm kind of like, I think that's what these guys want, though. They want everybody to kind of think, oh yeah, they're gonna go into New England, and then like the other day when we had Eric on, Eric's like, well, it's gonna be cold, and I just looked it up. It's gonna be 49 degrees at kickoff.
That's nice. That's what I got a nice. I'm okay with that.
35 to 45, right around there. But they just went into Kansas City, and it was 6 degrees a couple weeks ago, so they don't care about that. They know what it is. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna look like. Well rested going in there. They get Denzel Perryman back, so that's gonna be huge. They missed him in that Kansas City game, Gilbert. They missed that physicality, but I've been impressed with them. I was impressed with the way Herbert played in that third and fourth quarter against Houston. It seemed like he was doing whatever he could to win that game, but obviously it didn't come to fruition. But I'm saying on the AFC side, I wouldn't be surprised if all three wildcard teams went in there and beat the home team, just because of the way all those teams have like kind of ended the season in a sense, and the way they've played. But yeah, I was impressed by the way they played yesterday. The only thing is, for Denver side, man, if you're a Denver Broncos fan, you have to be nervous about the way they played. And then in one of those, Gilbert, Garrett Bowles goes down. He's on the ground, kind of like shaking or whatever, and they put him back in the game. I'm like, what do you like? Why? Like, why would just sit him? You're about to have a week off, like,
they and want the number one seed.
I know. Well, yeah, no, and I got that, but they were already up. But Gilbert, I think the Denver Broncos are showing how vulnerable they are. They got blown out by the Jags, and teams who face them are going to look at that Jags film and say, what did Jacksonville do right? What can we do to fight that against them? So I don't know what you thought about Denver, but I think Denver is one of the weaker number one seeds.
Well, put it this way. They caught a break, I think, with the Bills and the Jaguars playing each other, because I think those were two bad matchups for them. Like, those are two offenses that can maybe score points on the Denver defense. So one's going to be bounced out. So you kind of eliminate, two of the better offenses in the AFC field. But the downside for Denver, if the Chargers win, they automatically get the Chargers. That's a divisional rival that knows you well. That's a divisional rival that beat you. What was it, week 3? I lost track, Fernando. When it was starters on starters, when they were healthy and ready to go, they beat them. So it's always tough to play a team a third time. But like you mentioned, Jefferson was fired up after that game. They played the backups and they hung tight against Bo Nix. So if they win, that's a bad draw. But I think maybe Denver, if they get the winner of Buffalo or Jaguars, Buffalo or Jacksonville, I think they'll be okay because maybe their defense could shut down an offense. I don't know. Because I keep saying I think it's going to be a defensive-oriented postseason on both sides, NFC and AFC. But yeah, if the Chargers do win that game, I think they probably have a better chance than Buffalo or whatever combination comes out of it, because they know them well. They're a divisional round. Same thing with the other side, NFC. If the Seahawks draw the Rams, tough with that one because they know you well. They've already beaten you once. So these divisional matchups are going to be very tough in the playoffs. Same thing with Bears Packers. Like it's always like a mental game who has more toughness. So being the number 7 seed in the AFC with the Broncos being number 1, it's not the worst thing for the Chargers.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, you go into Denver, you beat Denver. I mean, shit, you could be going back to Hyde Park if the Buffalo Bills and the Chargers are in the AFC Championship. They could be at, oh God. And I was doing the stupid hand motion. No, I know. But they could be going back to Hyde Park after they thought that they closed it and everything.
I didn't even flip. You did, Fernando. That's more on your radar than I am. That's how old I am. But you
no, I know. I know.
At high school, so maybe that's why you keep hearing me.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen in New England because I mean they gave them the Sunday. I didn't believe it. Like Rich Eisen said it on this show. He's like, "Oh, I think it's going to be Chargers, Patriots Sunday night." I'm like, "Why? Like, why wouldn't it be Buffalo against?" But I never thought they would put Green Bay and Chicago on Saturday night. I thought that Saturday night was going to be Jacksonville.
How was Houston, Pittsburgh Buffalo. Not the Saturday opener? How the hell is that a Monday night game? Who's waiting for that?
I know. I think it's because they played the night game on Sunday and they tried to give them a couple of games. But like, that's not a Monday night. That could be a really ugly game. Like, it took Aaron everything to try and move the football up the field and do all that. So
now I have to face the best defense in football. Good luck.
Yeah. And obviously moving it over, I don't know what you said on House of Horns yesterday, so I'm really interested. But like we said, last year, everybody kind of got on McVay a little bit for, hey, you're resting players. Why are you resting players? McVay ends up saying after the last 2 losses, I mean, Gilbert, people are going to think that it's my fault that the Rams were losing all these games because I had to do the 2 losses. Or no, you did the Thursday night. I did the Falcons game. The
Falcons one, which is worse.
We got to split 1-1, but it just hasn't been a good showing by the Rams. And again, and McVay said it. He was honest. He said, "I thought we played well in the game against Seattle, but they didn't play a good fourth quarter and they didn't play a good overtime. They did offensively, but not defensively." Against the Falcons, they just got shellacked. Like Bijan Robinson ran all over them. And then here, obviously, McVay says we're gonna play all the starters. I told Vic on the preview, or not on the preview, on Monday night, I said I wouldn't be surprised if McVay's in the heat of the moment and said, "Yeah, we're gonna play all of our starters," but maybe he decides not to play any of them on Sunday. But no, he decided to go for it. And Matthew Stafford, 25 of 40, 259, 4 touchdowns. Puka Nacua had 10 catches for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. I don't even have to talk about the Cardinals, but they beat the Cardinals 37-20. Gilbert, your thoughts on the LA Rams as they head into the playoffs?
Yeah, if Sean McVay was straight up and said, "You know what, we're going to play our starters because if we're the 5th seed, we get to play that crappy division winner from the NFC South." And the Panthers could hear them and be like, "Yeah, you're right. Bulletin board material. We are the Panthers, but the Panthers did beat the Rams, so maybe that adds a little bit of intrigue to this matchup here." But I told Victor, like, honestly, yeah, it was kind of an ugly game. It was an ugly first half. Yeah, the secondary got torched by Michael Wilson's, but after what happened the last 6 games of the season, I think they split 3-3. You wanted to go into the postseason with a victory. You wanted to flex your muscles. You wanted to show that, hey, maybe the defense is not as good as people thought they were going to be because the back end is weak, but you got a number one offense. This offense averaged 30 points per game in the NFL. That's a league high, 30.4, I think I saw. Matthew Stafford, could be the MVP. Hopefully for the Rams' sake, Devontae Adams comes back because they've missed Devontae Adams the last 3 weeks here. So, they don't need him for Carolina. But regardless, I think they needed to, find some kind of mojo offensively because I think this defense could get lit up again by Bryce Young and Ted McMillan. So you got to be able to score points here. So they should be okay. But overall, I like that Sean McVay said, you guys have sucked. You have not earned time off. Go ahead and beat down the Cardinals for confidence booster and then get Jonathan Gannon fired the next day. They accomplished that.
It's funny. I think people get the wrong notion about McVay. Like, he's a tough ass. He just, with the media, he plays cute and all this. And it seems like he's a hard ass with his team. And he decided to be an even harder ass on them with playing in this game. So again, there no real big injuries came out of this, did they, Gilbert? I mean, they were pretty clean coming out.
No, they almost got a scare with Byron Young at the end, but he was fine. So they're okay. Pretty much Devontae Adams. I know the rookie Terrence Ferguson didn't play, but they're hoping he's ready to go. So again, Carolina is pretty much a bye week. I know they beat that team, but no way in hell you lose to that team twice. If you do, Rams, just cancel 2026. Don't show your face around here anymore.
Gilbert, I wouldn't say that. That's what people were saying last year with the Chargers and the Texans.
Oh, yeah, one team has Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson Jr. and the other one has what defensively? I have no
Derek
idea.
Brown.
Okay. One guy. Okay, 1 against 11 against.
Okay, let's just say. So are you playing Devontae Adams or you're not playing Devontae Adams?
Actually, that's a good question. I wouldn't. I will because hamstrings are tricky, man. Just wait it out. You got Puka Nacua by himself could beat this team, so I wouldn't risk. I get it. They played with their food in week 14, 13. I lost track of it. They should have beaten the Panthers when they were 10-point underdogs. I get it. I even said no way in hell they lose that game back then. But you can't do it twice. If you do, don't waste my time. Get the hell out of the NFL. Be relegated. Like what do they do in soccer where you get dropped to
relegate? Yeah, they relegate
USL for a year. You lose to the Panthers twice. Come on.
I would dress Devontae and it's like, hey, in the fourth quarter, hey, we're playing like shit. We need you in there, Devontae. Let's go.
Yeah.
Gilbert, I don't know. I think the Panthers are going to put up a fight. Canales has put up a fight, especially at home. And remember,
Tampa
they
Bay
win one, they lose one, Gilbert. They lost one against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, they broke the cycle. They lost 2 in a row to end the year. Seattle and
by the way,
which is funny. I predicted this like a month ago. I wrote it in one of my stories. I was like, they're gonna do win loss, but when the moment comes to win a division week 18, they're gonna shit the bed. And they did that. It happened that they still got help from the freaking Falcons. What a asinine division. Like I don't even get how this happened. Has this ever happened before where 2 teams eliminated from the postseason decided the division winner for a team that lost the day before? Like it was insane.
It was so dumb, especially because the Buccaneers took care of business and they beat them. But the problem is you didn't take care of business after starting off. What was it, 6-2?
Yeah, they lost like
2, something
7
like that.
of the last 8 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll give the Rams more credit. I think they'll go in, and I think they're gonna have to pull it out late. I'm gonna give the Panthers more credit. They have some playmakers on that team. They can run the ball. That's the thing.
Yeah, Bryce Young on that team.
Yeah, but they also have some playmakers. What's the corner's name that I'm trying to think of?
J.C. Horn. He's a good player.
J.C. Horn. That kid plays with fire. I like J.C. Horn. I like Brown. I think they're gonna get a little bit of pressure on the Rams by halftime, and then after the half, the Rams
can't even
will come
name
out.
one of their edge rushers on that team. Come on, Fernando. Like they're not gonna get any pressure besides
Brian Burns,
formerly of the Panthers.
All right, then I won't give him any credit. So, but yeah, speaking of that, real quick, Gilbert. But as we get into Black Monday, what are your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the sense of Todd Bowles was asked today about what he's going to do when he meets with ownership, and this is what he had to say.
All I can do is coach and be myself. I've earned the chance. I won 3 straight division titles, so that says a lot as far as I'm concerned. But I don't really have a message for fans other than true fans are true fans, and we're gonna try to do our best to go out there and win for them.
Did Todd Bowles forget what division his team plays in? Like saying you won 3 straight NFC South titles, what does that really mean? Like it's like I don't know. Like I'm trying to find something crappy. Like you won bingo 3 times against some old people. Like stop it. Like
oh my. So would you keep him if you're Tampa? As we now move on to
this, like look at the team on offensively on paper. This should be a much better team. I get the injuries occurred offensively, and I know there was no Mike Evans. Like Buka had a hamstring injury that limited him. But Bowles, your background is defense. The defense was awful. It's probably the worst defense you've had since you won those 3 division titles. And usually they kind of just keep it average for Baker Mayfield, and they make it work. But both sides was really bad. And then like it just makes you wonder if you're Tampa Bay. Like, did they keep the right coach? They lost Canales, they lost Cohen, both coaches in the playoffs. Like to me, they kept the wrong guy.
I am who's more likely to keep their coach? Baltimore or Tampa Bay? Because that's where the surprise that I'm waiting for. Baltimore hasn't met with John Harbaugh yet.
It has to be Baltimore.
Tampa Bay's going to meet with he's going to meet with the Glaziers tomorrow.
You're
right. The
The
Glaziers just fired Ruben Amorim at Manchester United after 14 months on the job, Gilbert. So 14, that's what they just fired the manager this morning. They could be firing a head coach tomorrow, Gilbert.
I forget there's a bunch of owners that own also European.
Gilbert said, I remember Eric said last week that he thinks the surprise is going to be Kevin O'Connell. That's going to get fired. From what he's hearing, the general manager and him do not get along whatsoever.
I would think the general manager would get fired. Crazy, he has not been good.
He didn't even get fired.
Yeah, which is weird. I guess
Shane got to stay.
It's all about the owners. Like, who do they like more? And
these guys are they're octopuses. They get their tentacles in you, and they get to stay.
Well, it's all about kissing ass. If freaking Jimmy Haslam likes Andrew Barrymore, I keep saying Andrew Barrymore, then that tells you a lot. Because Stefanski should be the one staying there. But we'll get to them in a bit. But
but which one would you pick?
I honestly think if the Ravens fire Harbaugh, that would be a huge mistake. But I think sometimes people kind of need a change, and I wouldn't put it past them. But look at Mike Tomlin. Like, I think he's going to be back another season. People have been trying to fire that guy. I'll say Todd Bowles. I think they're going to think about it, and they're going to see how much this team disappointed.
I love that from Mike Tomlin last night. He's doing like this thing where he's doing that to everybody who wants him fired. Like, literally is what he's doing. I'll tell you one thing. If Harbaugh's fired, I think he finds it like everybody cancels all their other head coaching meetings.
Oh, yeah.
And they all want John.
Well, it's kind of like what's happening with Stefanski. I think everybody wants him right now.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Well, we'll get into this in a second, but I definitely think that Harbaugh is going to have a sit down. I don't understand what Harbaugh's fascination is with taking the ball away from Derrick Henry late in games. Like, it's happened how many times? And why do you even have him? Let the dude go. Let him go to another team. Let a team, like, I bet you his brother would use him a lot more than the way he does in the fourth quarter. I mean,
dude, he had another season with 1,500 rushing yards. Like, he's not slowing down.
I know, and he's getting wasted. Like, okay, he's had he's had a couple of fumbles, but the dude's still a powerhouse, and he doesn't rely on his speed. He relies on his he relies on his afterburners, but he relies on his strength and his power, and then kind of gets going. So I think and that's why Vic asked in the group chat today, what's going to be the biggest surprise? I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants didn't outright trade for John Harbaugh. And they said, "Come be with our young quarterback." You get
like a first-round pick for him. I think they might think about it. But there's even rumors
because they have their young quarterback. Well, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Could Lamar be traded somewhere where the franchise just says we want to start over completely? We
I don't
don't see
get it.
because
I say go until Lamar shows he's going to be on the decline. I know he was injured this year, but like I think he hasn't completely lost his powers. I would do one more season, to be honest. If it happens, is the same results occur next year, then maybe do it. But I think it's a little premature. If you're asking me,
I get that. The thing is that I think what the Baltimore Ravens are going to sit down and do is say, is this the best that there's going to be with Lamar? Is this basically his ceiling? He gets you to the playoffs, but he can't really do anything. Like that year against Kansas City, remember before that year when they played them in the AFC Championship, there was that clip where he said, I hate playing them. I'm scared to play them, but he kind of said something to that effect. That's not what you want your like. And the thing is, Lamar, to his credit, he's honest. He's gonna tell it to you the way he's gonna say it, like what he's feeling. I mean, to his credit and to obviously his detriment. But I think the Baltimore Ravens are gonna sit down. They're gonna have an on. If John Harbaugh's gone, then that means to me that they chose Lamar over John. But I think regardless, they're gonna sit down this offseason and they're gonna have a conversation and say, should we pay him Josh Allen money? Or because Josh Allen's another one where he just gets to a certain spot and then boom, it freezes. So that's my question when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Are they going to want to play him that money or not?
the other thing too is about the thing is like with mobile quarterbacks, like they don't last as long as pocket passers. So maybe they do want to think about getting out of it early. Like maybe you draft a quarterback, in the second round, and you give him the Jordan Love treatment where Lamar Jackson could kind of, not mentor him, but like that happened with Joe Flacco, which would be kind of funny. But you see what Lamar has left because he's not like even Cam Newton broke down and he had a much bigger frame than Lamar Jackson. Even a young guy like Jaden Daniels couldn't, stay healthy this year. Like, yeah, when you're mobile and you're a dual threat, you present a lot of problems for defenses, but that's kind of a risky play. Like you get hurt a lot, and Lamar got hurt. The thing with Josh Allen, who used to be like that, a little reckless and runs the football heavily, he turned into an elite passer, a pocket passer. So he's going to last for a long time, at least I think. But it's funny because the Ravens and the Bills are kind of in the same situation where they have star quarterbacks that haven't gone to Super Bowl, but the Bills situation looks so much better than the Ravens we're talking about here, the end of an era here. So I will see it out for one more year and draft the quarterback. But I get it. The Harbaugh thing has been stale. They have not won with Jackson. He can't stay healthy. The smear campaign that came out of the Baltimore Sun, I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Nobody's come out and said otherwise, though.
My one thing with that, Fernando, was the story never said sources. It was kind of like just a lot of hearsay, she said kind of thing. That was a red flag to me. But if you're around the team a lot and you hear things and nobody's saying that, if nobody is saying like, hey, that's wrong, maybe it is true, but it was weird that it never really said sources. It's kind of like when we're around the team and you hear little things, but you can't report it because it wasn't a flat out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it would have been funny though. He won the game, and they win a playoff game, and after that story came out. But yeah, it's not looking good right now.
Vic, I'm done thinking that Sean McDermott's going to get fired after whatever crap they pull in the playoffs and lack thereof. I will tell you one thing. I'm interested. I hope somebody asked Joey Bosa this week how he feels about going back to Jacksonville. Because Joey was about. That's why I told you it'd be fun. Like if the Bills made it, we know Joey, and we could definitely grab Joey and see what his thoughts are on everything. But all right, let's get over to obviously the most important part of today, which is Black Monday. I completely agree, Vic. I think you definitely have to do that. But new coach, new stadium. But
it could be one if they lose and they're one and done. Maybe he gets fired.
If John's on the market and Buffalo went to go get John, they'd be that might instantly change the way their team is. And that's what Odafe was telling me. When you have a Harbaugh, it's different. Like everything's different. I'm kind of like, well, you've never had any other coach but a Harbaugh. So, but
he's ready. Like put it this way, like we all saw what the Jaguars did to Liam Cohen. We saw how much the Patriots, went ahead of the Jets to get Mike Vrabel. Like when you have a superstar coaching candidate out there like a Stefanski and maybe a Harbaugh, teams will do whatever it takes to get him. So if McDermott's out in a game in the playoffs, they're going to go make a call.
Well, and this team that we're about to talk about next, they went hard at their candidate, but their candidate said, "No, I'm going to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't want to go there." Even though the aura of Tom Brady and the this and the that, he decided not to. Pete Carroll was announced that he was fired this morning by the Las Vegas Raiders. Gilbert, I think that makes 6 head coaches. I can't remember the stat, but it's just 6 head coaches, I think, since like the Jack Del Rio era, I believe. I'll look that up right now. But what are your thoughts on, because this is a mess, Gilbert. Like, it's not like they have, like, Atlanta has pieces, other teams have pieces. This team and their biggest piece looks like he wants out when it comes to Max Crosby. But
Trade him.
what
I don't know what they're holding on for. Like, get a first round pick for the guy. Jesus.
what is your thoughts on the Raiders firing Pete Carroll?
Yeah, one, the move needed to be made. You had to fire Pete Carroll. It was just one of those nightmare seasons where it was not going to go anywhere. Obviously he didn't want to have like a 3 or 4 year plan because he's in his 70s or 80s. I lost track, so you can't operate that way when you have a weak roster. Like, it's not like Pete Carroll went to I don't know, the Cowboys, who just can't get over the hump, but they have enough talent to at least compete. He went to a crappy team, and I kept laughing when I saw Pete Carroll like raise his arms up for that field goal against who did they play, the Chiefs, when they won that game. Like, that was a Super Bowl, and I'm like, dude, you won the Super Bowl. Like, why are you celebrating this crappy game here? Like, you're on cloud 9. But I get it. He's a very optimistic guy. He knew the season was hard. They really wanted that game. And for Raider fans, it was good that they clinched the number one pick before that game, because Pete Carroll was ready to screw it up. But anyways, I had a little bit of doubt about it happening, Fernando, because I thought maybe Tom Brady was going to be like, you know what, I don't want my first hire to be one and done. This is the first year that Tom Brady had a lot of say, and to have a guy one and done, like, that kind of goes on your resume. But then I read Connor Orr's column at SI, and he had a good point. He kind of compared it to what the Texans did with Nick Caserio, who came from the Patriots background, worked with Bill Belichick, and Caserio fired 2 coaches back to back, one and done. And Lovie Smith, who kind of fits the Pete Carroll role, and then he gave David Culley a season to kind of play babysitter, because that roster was horrendous. This is kind of the post Deshaun Watson mess, and like, I think Nick Caserio knew it was like a long-term play, so he didn't really care about tanking, and he didn't care who the coach was. So one and done, he fired 2 guys, and then it worked out in 2023 when they got DeMeco Ryans, who they pretty much said that's our guy. They chased him, they paid him a good amount of money. They got CJ Stroud, they got aggressive, and got Will Anderson Jr., and the rest is history. So what if they're ready to do something like that? And I think it's a good play, honestly. I know it will require another tanking season, but get your quarterback in Mendoza or Dante Moore. And then, I don't know, if they don't get the guy they want as a coach, maybe he's a David Culley, where he takes another crappy season. You add more picks, because this franchise, since the Rich Gannon, Jerry Rice, Tim Brown days when they went to the Super Bowl, all they've done is quick fix, patchwork, throwing crap at the wall. You never know. We're the silver and black. We're going to relive history. And then, boom, it's 25 years later. So you got to do it from the long haul. So honestly, that Houston playbook, which is kind of you tank for a couple years and then you fire coaches, like, why not? And Tom Brady probably saw his good friend Nick Caserio do that. And again, shout out to Connor Orr for that comparison. Like, they might do something like that, because they have a long way to go here. The Raiders do. Trade Max Crosby. What the hell you're doing here? But it was the right move. Obviously, if you don't want to get a David Culley guy, which I don't know who would be that guy in this coaching cycle, but go get a young coach. I think people are watching the Mike McDonald rise in Seattle. He's kind of the new blueprint for coaching candidates out there. If you don't get Stefanski, what's the next play? Get a young defensive mind that's able to be innovative. And I wrote about this a month ago, Fernando, where I think this is the first year where defenses are ahead of the offenses, and I think we're starting to see a trend now where defenses are ahead of the offenses. So why not get a guy who could be innovative, like a Jesse Minter? Go maybe give, I don't know about Robert Saleh, but Chris Shula from the Rams. Guys are young and innovative. I think that could be the play here for the Raiders. But yeah, you had to fire Pete Carroll.
what's his name? Dr. Florio put on his article yesterday or today that his thought is that, or not, what he's hearing is that they're gonna go after Brian Flores as the head coach. But Eric even told us that he doesn't think Brian Flores will, because he sued the league before, so he doesn't know how that would play out. But that would be a Raider thing to do, to go get a guy who's sued the league and then hire Brian Dable as the offensive coordinator and kind of attack it that way. Which, I mean, it would be interesting, but the thing is, and I know Raider fans are probably going to get angry, and I know it's not draft time yet, I would trade that number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
I'm not drafting my Tocayo. You can't. One, he doesn't fit what the silver and black is. Two, that team has so many holes, Gilbert. Like, the offensive line's bad. Like, if you traded down this year and then you trade Max Crosby, you could potentially have 3 first-round draft picks in next year's draft. And guess who's coming out? My boy Arch. I'm telling you, that kid beat up on Michigan. I know Michigan had like players leaving and stuff, but he showed that he has it. There's a better quarterback draft class. I think Dante Moore is going to stay a year and wait until next year. There's other quarterbacks next year, but you need to build out this team. You need to do more with this team. You can't just draft a quarterback and then the quarterback gets in here and goes, all right, who's blocking for me? You've seen the Little Giants when they get Spike and Spike's like, who's the Spike's main blocker? The icebox, where's he at? And then it's the girl, and she's like, right here. Is Spike confused? Aren't you a girl? Like, that's exactly what he's gonna do when he comes in. He's gonna be like, what is this? Like, yeah, it's cool. We have Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, but like, there's nothing else here. So if I was them, I would trade. Again, the draft is 4 months away. The playoffs are about to start, but I'm just saying, as of right now, I might trade that pick away.
Well, put it this way: the thing I hate about the Raiders is they're always trying to relive the glory days about, we're the silver and black, we're the Pirates, or whatever the hell they are with the
committed to excellence.
Yeah, whatever. Like those days are gone. Like the Sun ruined it. Al Davis is probably rolling in his grave because they ruined the franchise. So stop copying what happened. Like, why don't you go be the button down franchise? Like, go be Fernando Mendoza. Like, to me, that's the one thing. Like, I don't care about him being a Kirk Cousins type of guy. The way he talks, like, maybe it's a little corny, whatever. But try something different for a change. And like, if he's a good pocket passer, I think maybe Tom Brady will gravitate towards that, because I think he's more of an old school guy.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm kind of having trouble with, and look, I know quarterbacks develop through a college season, but like 4 months ago, all the experts were saying like, yeah, he's whatever. But now I'm seeing like Tom McShay and Daniel Jeremiah saying like, yeah, he's worth the number 1 pick. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, in the last 2 months, did he really improve that much in the last 2 months? Like, sometimes, like, Spike don't play with girls. Sometimes you don't, like, you kind of just know who's gonna be a talent. Like, you don't need to see a whole full season. So my red flag could be like, okay, maybe he has limitations. He had a good season, but the other side too, like, you can't guarantee a number 1 pick next year. I guess you can if you have Patrick Graham as or David Culley there. But I always go back to this, like John Spatek, the GM. I know people always talk about Tom Brady being ahead of him. If you trust your scouting department, go and get Mendoza. What the hell are you waiting for? You feel like he's not worth, a number 1 pick, or even if you don't think he's worth, like, put it this way, the way the Broncos did with Bo Nix, he wasn't a first round pick, but he was good enough to be a starter. Who cares where you get the guy? So to me, if you view him to be a franchise caliber quarterback, I say go ahead and do it. Don't wait around. And look at the Saints too. People are like, how the hell you get Tyler Shough instead of Shedeur Sanders or Jalen Milroe or Dylan Gabriel? Like, Shough might be the best quarterback in this class. I know he's older, but he looked good. And shout out to Kellen Moore for doing that. But to me, it's all about trusting your scouting department. I don't care where you get the guy. If you think that guy is good, go ahead and get him. But I get what you're saying. I just never like, people always saying like, yeah, it's gonna be a loaded draft class, and then we get to October, like, it's not that good. That's what we heard this year. We're trying to learn the guy's name from LSU, Newsheimer. and now he's nowhere to be found. And we try to remember the guy's name from South Carolina, Lenoris Sellers. He's nowhere to be found. And it's just I hate this time of year where like people are like, yeah, you know what? Next year's gonna be better. Well, next year this year got Shuck and this year got Dart. Like,
No,
why?
Carson Beck is terrible.
No, I said,
No.
sorry, someone said Carson
Yeah,
Beck. That was the one a couple years ago, and then that guy's still in college because he's not ready. So there's always the landscape is changing. I remember Baker Mayfield when he came out, people thought like, where the hell did he come from? And he was good, you know, he's still a good player. But it's a crapshoot, and I always say trust your scouting department and get who your guy is.
Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm just not dude, like, look at this guy. Hold on. This is who Vic is asking about. Does this look like an NFL quarterback to you?
Arizona, but I'm ready to roll. Go Canes, baby. Just took a little nap on the plane. We just landed here in Arizona.
Jeez. He was dating one of those Cavender twins also, and he cheated on her.
I think Jake Ferguson is dating the other one.
Yeah. 6 year. This will be the 6th head coach for the Raiders since 2021. So this
are we counting in Bisaccia and the interim coaches?
John Gruden, Rich Bisaccia, Josh McDaniels, Antonio Pierce, and Pete Carroll. By the way, I'm tired of Max Crosby bitching. You weren't here. Dude, you did that to yourself. You were the one that wanted, by the way, and it's funny. Antonio Pierce just shits all over the Raiders every chance he gets on CBS. Like, he just craps on them at all times. So, did you see that he has and he got his Lambo stolen? That is true.
Well, he wanted Jaden Daniels, and Tommy T didn't get him for him.
Dude, that's what Brian Flores was like, well, I wanted Justin Herbert, not Tua Tagovailoa. So, like, obviously that's what
Stefanski now is saying he didn't want Deshaun Watson all of a sudden.
And he didn't want Shedeur Sanders. So I'm sure that one's gonna come out pretty soon.
Now.
Speaking of let's go to Stefanski next, Gilbert. Real quick. Vic, can you take this off real quick? This is what owner Jimmy had. Oh, by the way, hold on. Before we do that, we have video of Tom Brady firing Pete Carroll. Here it is, exclusively.
You've done a lot of great things, but you're a very old man now, and old people are useless. Aren't they? Stop it! You've done a lot.
Perfect. How do you remember that scene?
Oh my God, it's a great scene. This is what Jimmy Haslam had to say about why he kept Andrew Berry and did not fire him.
Andrew over the last has done a very good job, and I want to go through that because I think it's important to talk about the moves he made to strengthen our team. Okay, I think it began with what I would call a very efficient free agency. We added one player, and that player made a substantial difference in our football team, and that was Malik Collins. Malik is not only a really good player, he's a really good person who is a leader.
Yeah, that's great. So basically what he goes through is he says they signed Malik Collins. They traded down from 2 to 5, the strong draft class, good players, good people, finding kicker Andre Schmidt, and the Tyson Campbell trade, that he liked all those things, and that's why Andrew Berry is staying. Gilbert, you've been very vocal about Andrew Berry. Why should he not be the manager of of them anymore?
Yeah, he got one draft class, right? But they still won 3-4 games. I lost track. They won that game against the Bengals, maybe 5. But what have they really done? Like I don't get it. Like, you know, the Browns, like, their bar is so low. Like, if you just find anybody who's competent, like, they're gonna hold on to that guy. And I think that's why Stefanski lasted as long as he did, because he won 2 Coach of the Year awards. And by the way, I think he won those awards because he took the crappy Browns to the playoffs multiple times, and you kind of get a lifetime achievement award for that. But he cannot live off the awards anymore. They fired him. And like you kind of said it earlier, Fernando, sometimes about who's closer with the owner, who's licking more butthole. And I think Andrew Berry might be doing that a little bit. And he might get promoted to be president of the team, or I forget, with some other crap. So yeah, I get it. He got a draft class right, but like who's gonna take the blame for the sign of Deshaun Watson? Like if whoever traded for Deshaun Watson, like I don't think it was the coach, it's the GM. But honestly, I think Jimmy Haslam forced that one, and that's why Barry is getting a pass here. So I don't maybe neither guy wanted Deshaun Watson, but like the second that trade was an obvious failure, and it was probably an obvious failure the second you bend over backwards to get Deshaun Watson, knowing what the hell he did. How is this team not having a fresh start? Like we could crap on the Raiders, all we want, but they're not as bad as the Browns, and they're starting for the fourth time here. How is Barry surviving after probably the worst trade in NFL history? Move over Herschel Walker and the Vikings there. So to me, I don't get how anybody who was part of that trade is around. So to me, the only way I can see it is, I don't know, licking butt. I don't know.
I completely agree with you, and especially because we all know Shador's not going to be the starter, even though some Browns fans are delusional. Skip Bayless is delusional. Some of the people are delusional. Josine Anderson's probably delusional too. All these people think that Shador's going to be the starter. He's not. He did not show. He showed flashes, but he didn't show.
That's another one too, Fernando. How is Haslam talking about everything that Barry did right, but he had 2 cracks at a quarterback and neither one looks any good? Like I don't.
And not just that, he benched the third stringer or the third round pick for the 5th rounder. So
and he traded the best one, Flacco, and he goes on to be better with the Bengals.
Exactly. So it was a mess all around for them, and you have to wonder why they're deciding to keep on going. And why not just start off new? The same thing with the Giants. Why don't you start off new? Like, I get it. Like he traded for Brian Burns, but he also drafted Abdul Carter that had half a sack this year, a sack or something. Like it wasn't anything special that the kid did. I saw him live in person though. He did look scary good when he played the Chargers backup offensive lineman. But other than that, I mean, it's just like you have to hold the GMs accountable. And I get it. Like the GMs are octopuses. They have their tentacles into everybody, but you have to be able to, and they survive. They're like cockroaches also. Like they survive some of these things where you're like, how did he survive that? But it is what it is. Again, I think Stefanski's going to get picked up quick. I think there's going to be teams fighting for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he got the Falcons job. The only thing is, Gilbert, we'll get into that Falcons job, but I would be like, are you guys married to Michael Penix, or can I go get another kind of quarterback? Because that dude's injury prone, and I did not like what I saw from him this year.
He was not good this year.
Well, he starts off from his hip when he throws the ball, and you're kind of like,
did better than him.
Huh?
Kirk Cousins did better.
I know, but yeah, I just don't know if the Browns or the Raiders is the only reason why the Browns would be a sexy pick or a sexy place to go to is because of that defense. But other than that, I mean, I just saw somebody tweet out, I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Schwartz they just elevate him to head coach. I'm like, haven't we seen this before? Like, we've already seen him as a head coach.
Find the quarterback.
No. Is it Jim Schwartz? No, it's not Jim Schwartz. Oh no, it is Jim Schwartz. Yeah. I mean, I hope the Chargers and the Browns play each other next year. Then, if that's going to happen, because I'd love to see part 2 of Jim and Schwartz having to shake hands. But I agree with you. I think Andrew Berry should have. It shouldn't just be Stefanski falling on the sword. I thought he should have fallen on it too. And unfortunately, GM stay while head coaches leave.
I can't wait to hear more sources about Stefanski and how he hated being the coach there. Like, it's gonna all come out. Watch.
By the way, what did you think? Did you hear the news story out of Miami that supposedly Mike McDaniel's going to be involved in the GM hiring process?
I saw, and then supposedly it won't be his final say, but he's involved, which is weird.
What are they like? I just don't understand what some of these teams are doing. But you know what it is with him. I think your colleague Albert Breer said that when he was getting ready to fire Mike McDaniel, that he heard, oh, he's going to be a hot candidate. Well, if he's going to be a hot candidate, why would we get rid of him? Why not just keep him here? Dude, that's not
they
how
we're like, goes. You know what? It took Shanahan 3 years to do something in San Francisco. Don't blow it here. That's probably what they're saying.
By the way, did you see
Tua? So maybe that kind of helps him too.
Did you see what Tua was asked? So Tua was asked, would you want a fresh start? Tua answered it, And then they go, oh, so you'd want a fresh start out of here. And then that he declined to keep on talking. He thought that he got tricked by the media because he's like, yeah, I'd love a fresh start. Like, I would love to get somewhere new. And then they're like,
quarterbacks in Miami and Arizona. I'm calling it.
Oh, and that's going to be
Arizona. Placeholder quarterback.
Shit show. Let's go over to Raheem Morris getting fired by the Falcons. He was 16-18 in his 2 years. They won 4 straight at the end of the year, but they just couldn't get it going at all during the regular season. I get them not having a first-round draft pick next year because they gave it to the Rams, but they screwed the Rams because the Rams thought they had a top 10 pick. They win the last 4. They elevated, obviously, to a top a pick in the teens. My opinion here was that they just, because they both GM and the head coach got fired. I'm sure that these guys are not happy about, like, I wonder if they're thinking about what would have happened if we would have hired Bill Belichick instead of hiring Raheem. But I thought they were going to be a little bit more patient with him, but they were like, nope, let's get him out of here. Again, Vic and I I've said this before on the show numerous times. I said it with Vic a couple weeks ago. The thing is, owners that are older are starting to get impatient because they see the light at the end of the tunnel. No offense.
Isn't Haslam morbid?
Huh?
Jimmy Haslam's like 100 years old. I don't get it.
I know. Well, I don't know if you saw the hug that that Raheem gave. The hug that what's the name? This freaking owner from the Falcons. The hug. Yeah. The hug that Arthur Blank gave him. He's like giving him a hug, like his Parkinson's was hitting and everything. So it just was like weird. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so a lot of these owners are at the end of the tunnel and they're kind of like, shit, like I need to go win now.
Saw Jim Murphy go too.
I know. So that's what.
What?
Exactly. No, you're right. At least Jim got one Super Bowl out of it. But I'm really curious to see what they're gonna go do, because I think the Falcons defense is actually not bad. It just has moments of lapses where you're like, what the hell's going on? I like their defense. I thought the kid that they drafted out of Tennessee, he had, I think, 9.5 sacks or close to 10. Like that was pretty, that was pretty impressive by him. Now it's just about building out the rest of your team. You have Drake London, you have Bijan. Are you going to keep Kyle Pitts? And the problem is, Gilbert, as what the Falcons have done, even with Arthur Smith, they would have these lapses where they would go away from Bijan, they would go away from Kyle Pitts, and you're like, why aren't you featuring these guys in your offense? Like, why do you guys go away from them? I don't know why teams decide to go away from certain players, but I definitely think that that they're gonna. I think Stefanski's gonna be the shoe-in here. I think they're gonna want to go offensive, and I think they're gonna say Stefanski can come in here. He can do everything that we need him to do, and he's beloved in other places. People are speaking highly of him. Let's bring him in here. Let him be our head coach and let him lead this offense and this team. He had to have learned a lot when he was in Cleveland, and all those years. He's a two-time coach of the year. Let it be 3 and let him lead us. So, and again, they're in a shitty division, so they could end up being catching next year and being the team that wins the division. But yeah, I would go. I think Kevin Stefanski is going to be the guy there, to be completely honest.
Well, the tricky part about this one, and you kind of mentioned it with the Michael Penix thing, like whoever the coach is and the GM is, are they going to be okay with just inheriting another roster and saying, okay, this is a roster you guys invested a crap ton in for. We have to make something work here. And like, it kind of makes it feel like you want to come and change things the way you see fit, the way your philosophy is. So if it is Stefanski, who I think is probably the perfect guy to make this team reach their potential, what if he doesn't like some of these guys? What, okay, that guy doesn't fit my scheme. Like, are they going to have leeway to like say, hey, Penix, they used the number 8 pick on you in the first round. Can we get rid of that guy? Are they going to have freedom to do that? I think they should. But for the most part, I think at least for 1 year, and I think it maybe that's the same thing. But I remember with the Broncos and Sean Payton, he kind of had to do it the first year with that roster because of the whole mess with the Russell Wilson contract. And then the second year, he started shaping it the way he wanted to, and that's when they got better. So With the Falcons, though, you're expected to win right away. Like, you have Bijan, you got Drake London. We'll see about Kyle Pitts. You have a defense that got better. I even said I think Pierce is going to be the best edge rusher from the class, and he's proved me right now. Pat on the back for myself. But they lost the first round pick too. That's going to hurt for next year. But you got to take the roster as is, and you got to make it into a playoff team right away. This team has not made the playoffs in like almost 10 years, which is kind of wild to think. So I think that was Morris's downfall. But I think the real culprit was Fontenot, the GM who got fired. You're the one that paid Kirk Cousins. You're the one that did everything you could to get Michael Penix Jr., knowing that you paid Kirk Cousins. You're the guy who can bring out the best and Kyle Pitts for many years. You're the guy who couldn't build a defense. So Raheem Morris is the reason why they helped build that defense. Him hiring Jeff Ulbrich helped that defense. Like, the GM should have been the scapegoat, but I get it. Arthur Blank did not want to waste time here when you invested so many first-round picks and guys who are going to get old fast. Like, honestly, the way I wrote about this team, the Falcons, at one point, Fernando, if they lose again next year, they're going to be the New York Jets of 2026, where you have Sauce Gardner, you got Wilson, you got Quinnen Williams. You're saying, we can't win with these guys. We got to trade a couple. Imagine having to get Bijan on the market, getting Drake London on the open market. Like, if you don't win again next year, at some point you got to say, we got to blow it up. We got to get something here to try again. So it's going to be a lot of pressure for the next guy coming in.
They're going to franchise tag Kyle Pitts, by the way. I think they're going to franchise tag him.
Another year.
Yeah, Kevin will franchise. See, the thing is, he couldn't get the most out of Dave. Njoku had moments, but he couldn't get the best out of him. So that's kind of where I saw something that you're like, okay, you need to get the best out of this guy, but we'll see.
What is Sani talking about? I didn't make a joke, but I just mentioned some old guy died. I just mentioned some executives licking butthole, and I just mentioned that somebody is eating tiny weenies or thin weenies. But apparently, I'm too laid back on the show, but I'm too serious.
No, I missed you. It was a rough week last week. I was like, dude, like. And I was telling my brother today, I'm like, I can't wait to jump on with Gilbert. I want to get his opinions on all this. It's like I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. I think Sonny wants to freaking like scream like Dan and Dago. He's like the Stephen A. Smith.
Gilbert, you were wondering where he was at. Here he is.
The cheese eating bastard. What do you say? Sounds like that's what the Chargers need to do. Start over. Yeah, that sounds like the same thing too. But yeah, I'm also joking here too, Sonny. But yeah, you're probably a Dan and Dago fan. That's really grinds my gears here.
Oh, that's what grinds the cheese eating bastards gears too. He hates Dan and Dago.
That's the one thing we agree on in SI Swimsuit, best magazine ever.
Do you have Packers or Bears this weekend?
Are we gonna reveal the picks?
No, we can do it tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow. All right. Last but not least, your boy Jonathan Gannon ends up getting fired after 9 straight losses, which cost him his job. Gilbert, is anybody going to want this job?
Yeah, this might be the worst job out there, and yeah, I'll admit it. I had high hopes for this team. I'm embarrassed to say I picked them to win the NFC West, but I'll say this, Fernando. Everybody was picking the Rams to win the NFC West. I did not, so I got that right. Half a clap for me there. But yeah, they're a dog shit team. They're a bad organization. They even gave Gannon a good defense this year, and he still blew it. Yeah, we missed you. Danny was not good. He's terrible. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they should hire me there because I could probably do a better job. First assignment, get rid of Kyler Murray. Second assignment, make Marvin Harrison Jr. tougher and stay healthy, for God's sake. My God. Oh, and number 3, make Michael Wilson the number 1 wide receiver on that team. And then I will just get, who's going to get traded this offseason? Who's decent? I don't know. Just throw the ball to Michael Wilson.
Sweat.
Yeah. Cool.
Josh Sweat?
No, I'm talking about quarterbacks, but get them too. They have Josh Sweat, but yeah, Michael Wilson and Trey McBride should be enough to do something. How the hell does this team not do better? But anyways, I'm going off the rails here. They made me look bad. I went all in because I thought Gannon, and the way I'll say this, people are saying Gannon was like the worst 3-year coach ever. I'm like, you were not watching the Cardinals. I don't blame you. The Cardinals are the Tennessee Titans of the West. Like, nobody's watching the Cardinals, but I did. And they were feisty in year 1 when they had the worst roster in football. They had some surprising victories. They were able to run the football with James Conner. And then surprise, surprise, Kyler Murray didn't play half that year. That's why they were feisty. And then year 2, they won like 7 or 8, I think 8 games. Like they were trending in the right direction with one of the worst. They were kind of like the Carolina Panthers of the West. You're the Panthers and the Titans roll into one. What do you expect the guy to do? So I expect the year 3 to be a big jump. And to me, a lot of times, Fernando, you know this, when you're a head coach in the NFL, year 3 is where you make your money. Like if you are able to get positive results in year 3, you're gonna find the home in that with that franchise. If you go backwards in year 3, you're probably not the guy, and that's what happened to Jonathan Gannon. And then another big reason: don't push the running back after he dropped the football before crossing the end zone. I get it, that was a dumb play, but don't shove the guy and then go full Bob Knight. It's not 1975 where we can't say racist jokes either. Come on, guys.
By the way, the cheese eating bastard said, "You know the Packers will beat the Bears. Chargers will lose this."
Half right.
You know, with Jonathan, it just Gilbert, like they hired him right after the Super Bowl. Like it was just a weird. Like he got started really late because you know coaches want to get in there. That's why I don't believe if I get it. If the candidate's not there by I wouldn't wait until the Super Bowl because then the combine's 2 weeks later. And by the way, Steve Spagnuolo was saying that he's excited about this year because he gets to look at all the draft prospects. He's like, usually because we're in the Super Bowl, we don't get a chance to look at all the draft prospects. And I'm kind of like, okay, dude, whatever.
When I see your brother tomorrow, I'm going to ask him, how much did you enjoy all the camera shots of potentially Travis Kelce's last game and then like having kind of like a tear come down his eye after that field goal went through for the Raiders? Like, how do you lose to the Raiders and the Tennessee Titans in back-to-back weeks? Like, that's kind of crappy way to end your career. So I'm sure
I'm sure they wanted the 9th. Now they have the 9th overall pick. They can do a lot with it.
So for Travis Kelce, who doesn't care about the pick, like,
that's true.
Man,
they're gonna go watch. They're gonna try and get him to come back, and he's gonna do it. They're gonna be like, look, we'll draft Jeremiah Love. We'll go get this. We'll do this.
But now you're like that old boxer trying to relive your glory.
I get that. I get that.
People are like, don't go out after getting blown out in the Super Bowl. You got blown out in the Super Bowl. You can't go out that way. And then you come out and you go out even worse, losing to the freaking Raiders and the Titans back to back. Like, it's a lot worse. So just go home already.
So last 2 things, and then we'll bring Vic in. I wanted to ask you this. The way I'm seeing things, I don't think anybody's going to, like, I think for him, Jesse Minter, Gerardo asked, which team do you think will try and hire Jesse Minter? Look, I think Jesse's going to take an interview or 2, but I think the only for sure job that he would take is the Baltimore Ravens if it came open.
That'd be a great job.
I don't know any other, like, I don't think he'd take the Raider job. I don't think, like, you know, Mike McDonald took the perfect situation. Like, I think these guys have learned you take the perfect situation. I don't think there's a perfect situation besides Baltimore where he could, or maybe even Tampa. Like, there's no really other situation where you're kind of like, oh, well, if I get in there, well, I guess New York might be another one just because of their defense, like the pass rush and everything. But I really think that this might be a year where he'll take interviews. I don't know if he's going to go anywhere, to be honest. Yeah, but do you really want to be with the Browns? Like, you know what happens. Careers go to die there. I don't know if I'd want to go to Cleveland.
You know what's good for Arizona, because they're not going to be at the top of the choice for the candidates here. When they added Stefanski to the pool, everybody's going to be running for that guy. So then you get more guys who are young, unproven, and, you know, look at the freaking Cardinals track record. They went and kind of had a splashy move like people didn't expect for Cliff Kingsbury. People didn't really expect Jonathan Gannon, who's kind of the last choice either. So when you're a franchise like that, you have to kind of get the last choice. And there's actually a good amount. Danny is a Swiftie. Yeah, he is. There's actually a good amount of like young coaches who won't be expensive and won't get a lot of attention. Like, I don't know. I know Jesse Minter is high in a lot of people's regard, but like, where does he rank in this class? Like 7th, 6th, 5th? I don't like the Cardinals might have a shot at Jesse Minter, and if I'm them, I'll go get that guy. But there's even like Chris Shula. You want somebody experienced like a Vance Joseph. Maybe you want another retread like Robert Saleh. Who else is out there? Clint Kubiak is getting a lot of love too. A lot of young guys. Brian Dable. Would he get another chance in the cycle? I don't know. But then if you get Harbaugh too, like some of these young guys who are going to get passed by Harbaugh and Stefanski, that could be a benefit for a franchise like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I just don't know if he would. Well, the Cardinals might be an interesting job. I just don't know. Like the Raider gig, I get it, but then also that one, like, what are you going into? Like
that one, you get the number 1 pick at least. Like it's a good starting point.
Yeah, no, it is, but I'm just interested to see how this whole coaching cycle is going to go because it just looks weird. Like it's just a really weird.
I like a lot of names though. I like all the up and coming names where I think like it's going to be the Mike McDonald effect. Like take a chance on a young defensive mind and like. And the Cardinals too, one more thing on them, like good luck. You better nail the pick because you're dealing with Mike McDonald, Sean McVay, and Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, good luck.
Another thing. Mike McCarthy, everybody keeps on saying that Mike McCarthy is gonna be the
a third try for McCarthy? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, well, everybody keeps on saying Matt Nagy is gonna be the choice for the Titans. That's the one that one's the one that's getting the most.
That franchise. Them and the Cardinals are going to be competing for least picked.
I think the Raiders are going to be competing for that too, dude. Like, I don't know.
Well, if you're ranking them, it has to be the Cardinals last, right? At least with the Titans,
let's rank them. Let's rank them. So we have a bunch of gigs open. What are some of the ones that you find attractive? So we have Atlanta.
Falcons are number 1.
Arizona
last.
We have the Giants
number 2.
The Raiders.
What are my other options?
The Titans.
Actually, Raiders are number 3. They got the number 1 pick.
Browns.
You might have. I think it's gonna be a 3-way tie for last. Arizona, Cleveland, Tennessee. Like, which one's really the better from the 3? Like, I can't find good reason for those 3. Maybe I guess Cam Ward, but was he even that good this year? He was okay. Like, I don't know. But there's a gap, I think, or even like you're saying, Fernando. Maybe the Raiders are not that good either, but they have the number 1 pick at least. So it's definitely New York and then Atlanta by far ahead.
Somebody said you sound like Barry White. That's funny.
Hey,
that's a compliment. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the way Atlanta seems like they're the most like but see, like Cleveland, you're kind of like, well, you're already going in with a GM that you don't even know. You're like, Arizona is not getting rid of their GM either. The Giants aren't like. That's just so weird to me. The Raiders aren't either. Like, it's literally only less than a handful of teams that have openings for GMs.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't get it. Like we talked about Miami and Buccaneers. There should be a lot more openings this year. But yeah, the GMs being saved, man. It's strange. Just Miami and Atlanta are the ones that lost GMs, right? Am I blanking on somebody else?
Yeah. No, Miami and. By the way, did you hear that? The Dolphins hired Troy Aikman and try and help them with that process, and then Atlanta
that was so random
is about to hire Matt Ryan as their president of football operations or something. But then he also wants to keep his job at CBS, like Tom Brady. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? First of all, you're not Tom Brady, but still, like, what are they doing?
Why can't Troy help out the Cowboys? Does it help Miami out? Like, that's I
don't know. Well, who knows if he has a good relationship. Saini, we'll rank the top candidates tomorrow. Maybe that's what we'll do on the show. We'll rank the top candidates tomorrow. But
speaking of Miami, I just watched Ace Ventura for the first time in a long time, and that's a funny movie, Jim Carrey movie.
Jim Carrey is one of the most underrated actors. See, that's what we're gonna do in the offseason. We're gonna go. Would you rather Will Ferrell's movies or Jim Carrey's movies? Would you rather like? What would you rather watch? Yeah, that's they both have some very Adam Sandler is one of my top movie searches because I love Adam Sandler.
The thing with Jim Carrey, I feel like I need his movies and like spaced out because his act kind of annoys me. Like if I hung out with Jim Carrey every day, I like I don't think he's like that in real life, but if he was always like this making dumb faces and dumb jokes and dumb
the
voices.
face that he makes for the Grinch is crazy.
What was that?
The face that he makes for the Grinch, like with the way he's like able to curl his face, like
it's spot on. But like if you were hanging out with Ace Ventura like for like a week straight, like it would drive me insane. Yeah. like crap, the crap that he does. But it's good.
There's a chance. Dumb and Dumber. All right, let us bring in now Vic to finish this off. Gilbert, good to have you back. Good talk. The cheese eating bastard obviously enjoys having you back. So
I'm enjoying all these comments. Yeah, I like it. On a Black Month,
really engaged. Vic, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Happy to be back on here. But that was a good conversation there with all the head coaches.
I know what you're waiting for. You're waiting for tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
I know you're waiting for that, Gilbert. It's been a while. We haven't had both of you guys in the same area for a little bit, so we're definitely excited to see what
he's gonna brag about his winning the picks challenge, but it's okay. I'm ready for it.
All right, Vic, what do you got for us?
All right, let's do some Fact or Fiction playoff edition here, or wild card weekend, I should say. So let's start off with my number one question here. Or not my Fact or Fiction. Texans will be the wild card team that makes it to the Super Bowl. Fact or Fiction, Gilbert?
I'll say fact. I keep going back to the defense. I think that defense is special. It could be like I know CJ Stroud on the offense have been whatever. They've been pretty bad. They weren't even that good against the Colts in Week 18. But they got that defense, man. You got two very good edge rushers, and I'm gonna say Will Anderson Jr. is gonna really leave an imprint on this postseason run here. So I wrote about it at SI. We're kind of due for a dominant defense to go far. I think the last one was a no-fly zone in Denver. You got the Legion of Boom before that. It's been more than 10 years, man. So I think now that we're seeing defenses catching up, like Seattle and Denver, Philly has a good D. Green Bay kind of did until they lost Micah Parsons. Shout out to you, cheesy and bastard. Yeah, I really think defense is gonna probably do well this year, and I'm a bet on the Texans one. I can't get behind Denver and Seattle, but Houston I can.
I will go fiction because Gilbert went fact. I watched the team. No, and I'm gonna be honest. I watched this team in person against the Chargers, and I wasn't really that impressed, even by like. Their defense was really good. Like those edge rushers are good, but they kind of get in a lull when they're away. You know what I mean? Like at home, they're on you the whole game. I saw a lull towards the end of that game in LA, and they're lucky that they called that illegal contact because, well, not lucky. Well, yeah, I don't know. It was lucky, but they kind of get into this lull when they're away that I'm kind of like, they're not the same team at home and away. So that's the only reason why I feel they don't seem like a road team to me that can get all the way there on the road. I just don't see it happening. So I'm gonna say fiction. And then CJ Stroud, he was good for 2 drives against the Chargers, and then the rest of the game he was really bad. He was really bad. So yeah, it was 2 big broken down plays, and then other than that, the Chargers defense was able to kind of do whatever they wanted against him. So I'm gonna say fiction, and then their running game isn't very good either. So I think you're gonna have a strong running game. I think these playoffs are gonna be that old school mentality: a good running game and a good defense. And Houston does not have a good defense. That's a good song.
Good song, Tay.
Great song.
Sucker.
Yeah, exactly. I love that song.
Fernando. So if it's not the Texans.
I can't.
Who are the wild card that makes it to the Super Bowl? What is the wild card team for you that makes it to the Super Bowl?
Buffalo.
Say it.
Buffalo.
Oh, wow. Not the Boats. Okay.
Are you?
Why?
Why
the Bills?
Why would I say
why
that?
the Bills?
Make your brother happy, not just the people in the comments. Make your brother happy.
No, I can't say that. No, because that offensive line's really bad. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold up, but
it is really bad.
Buffalo, just because I think they're going to have that weight off their shoulders of, hey, there's no Lamar, even though I don't know why people say there's no Lamar. Lamar's never done anything against him. I'm even falling for it. There's no Patrick Mahomes. I feel like if they can go into Jacksonville and beat Jacksonville, they're kind of skating on the way to the show. They could go into Denver and beat Denver. They can go into New England and beat New England. They can go into anywhere else and beat whoever. The only thing is, if it's wild card against wild card and they'd play the Texans, they'd play at Houston. So that would be a dangerous game. But I will just say, for shits and giggles, I'll say Buffalo's my team that could. I just don't believe in the Rams. I don't believe in the 49ers anymore. It seems like with the 49ers, if Trent Williams doesn't play, they're just useless. So I can't go with them. The Packers, no offense. If Micah was playing, I'd say okay. And then I haven't liked Jordan Love's been injured. What is he gonna look like when he comes back? So yeah, I can't no, the Chargers, I can't. If I say it and they end up losing this weekend, my brother will kill me. So yeah, no.
This guy.
Look, I'll tell you one thing. I do like the Chargers defense. I think their defense hasn't been talked about enough. I think their defense is one of the defenses that doesn't have any names on it, except for Derwin and Khalil. But nobody's talking about Thule. Nobody's talking about some of these other guys that are playing really well. Deshaun Hand, Tier Tar, like those guys are playing as a unit right now. They're playing really well. So I definitely think they're really good, but I just think that offensive line's really bad. Like, I'm sure if Jim Harbaugh had a magic lamp right now, that he'd use 2 wishes on getting Joe Walton, Rashawn Slater back, and that'd be basically it. But yeah, yes, cheese eating bastard. I'm wearing green and yellow.
Green and yellow.
Just
all right,
you.
Fernando. Next fact or fiction question here: of the 2 number 1 seeds, the Seahawks will not win a playoff game.
No, I say fiction. If I had to choose one, I'd say Denver's not going to win a playoff game. I think Seattle's defense is better than Denver's defense. And I get it. See, this is the thing about Denver. We love Patrick Surtain, but then who else is a playmaker after Patrick Surtain? Like, Nick Benito's really good. He had 2 sacks on Trey Lance yesterday. He hadn't had a sack before then in a while. Like, he's kind of been on spurts. I like Benito though. But I definitely think that Denver's is closer to being that one and done. I think Seattle needs to go with the model of the Seattle Seahawks team that won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Play hard-nosed defense, run the damn football, and Sam Darnold, you better not fuck up anything. You better get in there and you better just pass the ball to JSN, and that's it. No BS. Don't throw the ball into double coverage. Don't do any of that. I will say, I'll say fiction. I'll say that the Seahawks, who, Vic, you and I have said it all season, we thought they were legit. Now they're the number 1 seed. Not a lot of chirping coming up from a certain area, but no, I'll say fiction. I say out of the 2, Denver would be the one that loses, that doesn't win a playoff game, in my opinion, especially because of all the chirping that Denver's doing as well. I think Seattle fans are kind of bracing for impact, to be honest.
Gilbert?
Fact, of course. One has Sam Darnold, the other one doesn't. So, yeah, we saw Sam Darnold flame out against the Rams, actually, when the Vikings played in Arizona. And there's a good chance the Rams could play the Seahawks in the division round. I get it. The Seahawks beat the Rams in Seattle, and that was a very, very high scoring, exciting game. But the Rams should have won that game. They were up, what? They were up, I lost track. 14 points? Yeah, 14 points in that game. Or 16 points, I think, actually.
No, 16 because they had to go with 2.
They had 3.
What a meltdown. But yeah, if we get that part 3, which I do want to see, yeah, I don't think Seattle's going to be up for it. So I think they're going to be a one and done.
I was talking about the year that they won, that they beat down the Denver Broncos when everything went right for them.
Not against the Patriots.
Russ didn't have to do shit. So that's exactly what these guys are going to need to do, to be honest.
I like.
Oh my God,
this.
that is hilarious.
Don't spoil it, because I have not seen the second part of the season.
You're gonna miss out on much.
Oh,
man.
Gilbert, I don't want it to get spoiled for you. Never mind.
There's an Iceland mention.
Oh no, you'll see.
No.
By the way, yeah, that's what Dan wants to talk about tomorrow. So you better watch it tomorrow, because
I'm not gonna. That's 4 episodes, and one of them is 2 hours long. But I'll try my best.
Oh,
Yeah,
by the way, I
episode
didn't
is
watch
two
shit of
seasons, 2
season
hours.
5. I didn't watch shit of season 5 except for the finale or the whatever season this was.
Oh,
I just
really?
watched the finale, and I thought the finale was terrible. But
wow.
but I didn't watch the show, so I mean,
Well, I watched the first half of the final season, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't the worst, but I've seen all the jokes about it, and they're pretty spot on.
Oh, my brother was not.
Did you know that Gil is gay? That Will is gay for Fernando and Gilbert?
I saw it all over social media, and I saw people shitting all over it.
I saw those jokes too. So yeah, I got.
All right, guys. Fact or fiction? Mike Tomlin is under the most pressure to win a playoff game out of all the coaches that make the playoffs.
That's fiction. I could probably give you 3 other guys. One of them being Sean McDermott for sure. Who's another guy? Oh, freaking what's his name? The pretty boy from Green Bay. What the hell is his name? Matt LaFleur. That's 2 right there.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, actually, I think he's fine because he's that good, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl. So if you're one and done, you're right, Vic. So that's 3 right there.
I will say I'm with Gilbert. I say LaFleur is my coach that has the most pressure, just because there's already been talks about him halfway through the year of getting fired. One of these coaches that gets eliminated this weekend could be fired, Gilbert. Especially if it's somebody who like we said, who need, like if McDermott, LaFleur, like you guys just said, they could be fired. I don't think Tomlin's will be fired.
Yeah, I think he's back too.
I think with Tomlin, he would have to retire. Like, you guys remember that? I don't know if you guys remember that scene in The Office where Pam says that she's the office administrator, and the guy's like, the guy doesn't want to say that she's lying, and she's like, say I'm lying or say I have the job. And then that's exactly what it is with, like, say you're gonna retire, or like basically they don't like to fire teams. Or they don't like to fire coaches. They want the coach to leave on his own. So that's kind of where I think they are. So I would put LaFleur and I would put McDermott at a higher possibility of getting fired over these 2.
Yeah, and I would say Mike Tomlin, like you said, I don't see him getting fired, but he is someone that could get traded during the offseason. And I wanted to ask, I know we got to go soon, but let me ask Gilbert this, because I asked Eric this, and I want to get your response here. But will we ever see a coach get traded again? I think the last one was John Gruden.
No, the last one was Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that one. So do you see like a Tomlin or a Harbaugh getting traded? If so, who would be a candidate that we could see get traded as a coach?
Yeah, those are 2 good ones, because like they're very good coaches that have won a lot, but their tenure has gotten stale, and people kind of want a fresh start. And then you look at Sean Payton and John Gruden. Like, Sean Payton is doing wonders there ever since he took over the Russell Wilson mess, and they're doing well. And John Gruden won a Super Bowl, so it's actually not a bad approach. I kind of feel like a first-round pick is very steep for a coach, but coaches are that important. Like, look at the Falcons; they can't bring out the talent in Atlanta. That's why they fired Raheem Morris. Like, look at the Giants, who can't bring out the best in that defensive front because they don't have good coaching. Like, a lot of these a lot of these teams are talented, but they don't have the right coaching. Look at Ben Johnson going in there and fixing everything that Ryan Poles started, but couldn't bring it to life because there was no coaching. So, first round picks for a coach, I have a good one. I think do matter. Like, obviously, you give one up for Jim Harbaugh in a heartbeat, but the Mike Tomlin one is tricky because I just don't know if he's still innovative. I think a lot of it has to do with Aaron Rodgers is still having enough in the tank to be a good quarterback. I think that's more him than Mike Tomlin, and he played pretty well yesterday. But John Harbaugh, I think to his credit, was able to be innovative with Lamar Jackson to say, we'll go for Joe Flacco to Lamar, and he's had good quarterback play. Obviously, Tom Munkin gets credit. Even your boy Fernando, Greg Roman gets credit there. But Harbaugh was ahead of the curve, so maybe. Or Dan's boy. So I think maybe Harbaugh will be the one I would trade for. The Tomlin one kind of scares me because I think his thing is kind of stale. Even his defenses have been kind of so over the years. Like I'm not saying he's done, but he's still young. He's still a young coach. He was hired at what, in his 30s in 2007. So I think maybe Harbaugh will be the one you trade a first round pick for.
Let me give you guys. I want to get both of you guys' take here before we go. So I have 5 guys that I think could be looking to get traded this offseason, coaching, right? So one of them is Kyle Shanahan. If he just decides, hey, I'm done here, you know, if he decides, hey, I kind of want to move on. The other one is Matt LaFleur, and then the Harbaugh, Tomlin, and then the last one would be Kevin O'Connell after what Eric said. So out of those, I just want you to rank. If those guys were available for a trade out of those 5, how would you rank them? If you in terms of going out there and trading for them?
Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, and who was the last one?
It was here Matt LaFleur.
Oh, LaFleur. Okay, LaFleur would be at. I think he's going to be at the bottom. No offense, but like, I don't think anybody's trading for that guy.
Maybe. To me, it's John Harbaugh. I need to have somebody who's at least shown they're still keeping up with the game, and then they've won a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan has not won it. I know he's very innovative, but I'll put him number 2. I think Kevin O'Connell's a little overrated. I'd rather have Mike Tomlin than him. That's 3, and I'd rather have I'll put LaFleur 5th then. But KOC would be number 4 for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you guys. No, I cannot bench 400 pounds. I don't remember. I don't know what I can bench. I need to look it up. No, Dan's the one
that video of that Jaguars fan squatting Trevor Lawrence at a bar.
Oh, I did. I thought that was fake. It is true.
I don't know.
I could do that.
You never know.
Like
now,
if you give me Justin Herbert, I could squat Justin Herbert.
I was gonna say Fernando can bench a supermodel though.
I do that. I'm just saying, but no, I'm getting in there. I'm putting in. Arms are like throbbing right now. The big. I need to work on my tan. Guys, we'll be back to. That's from the Nutty Professor. That's a good one. Jorge, you won the day. That was a great one. Guys,
we should do a comment of the day as we close out. We should do that going forward. By the way,
that would be Jorge.
I like the big white comment. That was a good one for me.
Yes, I am
a flight risk. Oh, Vic, how was your trip back?
It was good. Sunday morning, like I left Tulsa Airport. I think my flight was at 5:30, and I got back like by 8:45. So
you remember those flights, Gilbert?
To Oklahoma?
Those 5 a.m. flights leaving opposing stadiums, so you can get back to listen to the coaches.
The ones I was on in Iceland was pretty bad too.
So you said you left at 5:30 a.m. You got back at 8:45.
Yeah, I got back at 8:45 LA. So. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just like I'm with Gilbert. It's just the jet lag really gets you, and I think my biggest complaint is I love living in the West Coast. I hate the 2-hour difference. Like watching those games, trying to watch those games and trying to stay up. And I wasn't even the East Coast. It was like the middle of the country. So yeah.
Do you guys can you guys sleep on flights or no?
Nope, I can't do it.
If I'm really tired, it just happens, but I try to avoid it.
If I have an aisle seat, I can't because the sons of bitches always bang me with a damn with my elbows like stuck out or whatever, and like they always bang me. So I'm trying to say if I sit in the window seat, I'll like knock out. So yeah, if a window seat's back, because then I put my sweatshirt up or whatever and I put it up. But all right, everybody, thank you guys so much. Gilbert, it's amazing to have you back. Gilbert or Vic, it's awesome to have you back on the West Coast. Appreciate you guys so much. There is we will have the 4 Compas tomorrow at 4 p.m. Finalization, such a good one too. Oh, and then I was watching like a movie on my phone that like it disconnected from my headphones and it said like some vulgar stuff, and I was like, oh shit. And like the lady next to me is like, oh, you keep on cracking up. It must be a good movie. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Not appropriate for
You're the guy that
listening.
laughs out loud on the plane for a
Oh,
comedy.
dude,
watch.
I'm like cracking up. Like it's such a good. It
Terrible.
was such a good movie too. It's a great one. But oh my God, Jorge, Jesus. But next week there might be a little bit. Dan might not be here because he's at the coaches convention. He'll be here too. Oh no, actually no, he'll be here Tuesday, and then Sunday night. He'll be there to do Chargers, and so I got that all confused. My bad. He'll be here to do the Chargers stuff too. But again,
That'd be a third bye week of the year,
huh?
That'll be his third bye week of the season. He thinks he's the number one seed, getting a bye week before the playoffs.
What did you call it, Gilbert?
The mental health.
Dan will be here. He'll be here tomorrow. He'll be here next Tuesday. I forgot about what his flight.
2 bye weeks. Come on.
No, he's gonna be here. What are you talking about? He's gonna be here tomorrow too.
Number one seed, Dan. He wins a freaking pick'ems challenge. He takes a week off.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be here tomorrow.
Hey, he's getting ready for Radio Row, man. Give him a break.
Take one off before Super Bowl.
He's gonna be at the coaches convention this weekend, so he's going to North Carolina.
Oh,
so he's excited about that.
you watch the Rams game on Saturday in Charlotte.
Oh no, he doesn't get there till 2.
Oh, wait, on Saturday?
No, but it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 4:30 Eastern, so he should be able to. He should go.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him.
Might be $10 tickets with the way the Panthers play.
Are you gonna hook him up with tickets?
If they're $10, yeah.
And we should get him a credential, a Compas on the beat credential.
That would be funny.
Yeah, it'd just be like Bryce Young sucks, confirmed.
Bryce, do you feel like your height is a reason why you're not able to see over your offensive lineman?
We get him on the post-game show on House of Horns. So how was that?
How would you like to play for Justin Herbert?
Sean, imagine the Rams choke. Sean, was your hair gel getting in the way of your
you got some both locker rooms? That'd be great. I'll pay for that.
There you go. Let's get Dan in the press box.
Running around to both locker rooms.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. No, Jorge, I misspoke. He'll be here for both episodes. Don't worry. He'll be here. He'll be here tomorrow. So don't worry. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys are the best. Gilbert, why don't you get us out of here?
Yeah, clip out the part where Fernando said I get banged a lot on the planes. So
did I say that?
Yeah, so I get banged.
Because of the
Here comes the boom.
I get banged into. Yeah.
Anyways, on that note, nos vamos, pues, vámonos.